Standing Up for Integrity. The conference will focus on governance, anti-corruption implications of interconnected global threats such as conflict, climate change, democratic backsliding, among others. The International Anti-Corruption Conference is a biennial global forum involving the participation of around 1,500 government, civil society, youth, media, and other actors. I have joining me now to discuss more about this conference and its significance, the founder, Follow the Money, Hamzat Lawal. He joins me from Vilnius in Lithuania. Thank you so much for joining us, Hamzat.
Well, thank you for having me. Good evening, Karen.
Yeah, well, good afternoon from here in Lagos. It's been days of deliberation in Vilnius. Talk to us about the high point of the conference and what its significance is.
Well, first, the world have stand in solidarity and have also agreed that the biggest threat to insecurity globally is corruption, from armed conflicts to illicit financial flow to terrorism financing, and also to the transition, the energy transition we have to do with climate change. We've all agreed that there's a global solidarity and we must take action, not only as global leaders, but also actions locally. And I think in tying this to local action, one, there's a global perception, a positive perception about Nigeria. One, because President Bola Ahmed Tinubu appointed Malam Nuhu Ribadu as his national security advisor. Malam Nuhu Ribadu, being the pioneer chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, brings a wealth of experience and knowledge, but most importantly, a global perception about how President Tinubu will lead the charge against corruption, using Malam Nuhu Ribadu as the national security advisor, and also tying this to that global campaign around corruption fueling national security implications. So I'm quite excited because, again, as civil society actors, as activists, there's that framework already to engage or get to global solidarity. But most importantly, there's an opportunity to leverage on this to take action. Secondly is the energy transition. And I'm also glad that Mr. President has appointed a special envoy in climate change, because Nigeria is now in that phase of transitioning to cleaner energy. And so who pays for this? And that's what we're here to say. You know what? Nigeria is not among the polluters. How can we ensure that when government, international government, as the United Nations commits to climate action, how is this money also being released? Because there's been a series of commitments, right from the Paris Accord up to even the Glasgow Accord. But, they've made pledges, but they've not remitted this pledge. So I believe that the work actually is leading, on climate change will go a long way. Also coming down locally. I'm quite excited that the federal government has approached the Supreme Court, because local government autonomy would help localize this agenda, would also help ensure that resources actually trickle down to the grassroots. Because with all of this conversation around tackling corruption, ensuring we have people with integrity at the corridors of power, we must also ensure that it trickles down to the local communities and the grassroots. So local government autonomy would send that positive perception that, yes, Nigeria is not only joining the global community in standing in solidarity, but taking particularly local action. And Mr. President actually did something phenomenal. He suspended the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs when the scandal broke out. But I also think it's important beyond suspension. We must ensure that investigations are carried out on prosecution, or charges are brought forward. Because, again, this sends a signal that we must lead a government with integrity. We must have a government that has consequences, and these consequences would send a signal to other corrupt people that you cannot take public resources and use it for personal aggrandizement.
Indeed, Hamzat. And then, it's one thing to have deliberations of this sort. It's another to actually go back home and practice them. What is the body language? What is the level of commitment of, those who have gathered, participants, to actually ensure that not only do we have these discussions, but that we actually follow them through?
Well, the global commitment and solidarity. So, one, there's room for collaboration, to particularly also leverage on homegrown initiatives. And for Follow the Money, one thing we're taking out of this is, there's a global consensus around tackling corruption, illicit financial flow, but also actions on the ground within the continent and even outside the continent. And, Follow the Money model was used as an example where, local resources are trickling down to the grassroots, where citizens are being engaged with. We're mobilizing, organizing, but educating. And now we're in 12 African countries. And there's growing interest, for Follow the Money in Europe, in Canada, in the US. And I think this is also helping changing the narrative that, the local solutions from Nigeria, from Africa, And the world needs to come and even learn from us as we build a better future and a better world, even for the generation that's on board.
Indeed, Nigeria to the world there. Thank you so much for sharing with us. Hamzat Lawal is founder, Follow the Money, and I wish you, a great celebration there and a safe trip back home.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye now.